Oh, I'm with the sensational starting center of the Kansas City Chiefs, Creed Humphrey. Creed, back again. How are you feeling, brother?
Feeling good, yeah. The team's excited. Everybody seems locked in, so we're ready to roll.
Just a little like this compared to last year, compared to your previous experience, being in a rival stadium, there's about 20, 30,000 fans here. How does this all feel to you?
Yeah, it's just surreal. I'm thankful for every experience that we get to do this stuff, and it's always a fun week. So I'm excited about it. A little less nervous this year than there was last year, whenever it was my first one in Arizona. So yeah, I'm just excited for the week.
You got some top talent on the defensive line on the other side to you. What have you seen on Niners tape? Are you excited? In an iron sharpens iron way to go up against top ties.
Yeah, for sure. They're going to be a unique challenge for sure. I mean, they got a ton of studs up front. The guys that rotate in are also studs too. So it's going to be a hard battle, but we're excited for it.
Hey man, you went up against Javon Hargrave last year, didn't give up a sack to that Eagles line, so maybe the same again this year.
Yeah, Hargrave's a stud, man. He's always fun to go against. I played him twice now, and phenomenal player. Your work's going to be cut out for you every time you play him, so I'm excited about it.
And your years in the league, you've only snapped the ball to one man in general, barring some of Andy Reid's wilder plays that we see. But talk about your relationship with Pat Mahomes and what he means to this team, this city.
It's great. He's everything that Kansas City represents. Just tough, hardworking, competitive, and a winner. So just being around him, it's a blast. Getting to build a relationship with him over the past 3 years, it's been awesome. And not many more humble guys like he is. It's just fun to be around him.
And you get to block for Isaiah Pacheco, a man who runs like he hates the ground. How do you see that guy?
Yeah, I mean, watching him run gets the rest of the O-line fired up. So, we love it. Anytime his name gets called, we're going to work our tail off, get him every yard we can. If he's in a pile, we're going to be up back there pushing him because we know he's going to get more yards. So he's awesome to play with. Great dude, too.
Have you seen those other comparisons? Runs like a kid, wearing new shoes.
Yeah.
There's all sorts out there, but I love it.
Oh, yeah, they're great. Very funny. So, yeah. But, he's a player, man. He's awesome.
And how are you guys? Obviously you personally, second time here as a team, 4 in the last 5. Is it starting to become routine for you? Do you feel like this week feels comfortable to you guys now?
Yeah, you don't want to say, it's becoming routine or anything like that. Winning in this league is hard, very hard. And, they've done a great job here. They've built a great culture, the great coaching staff, great organization top to bottom. And just to be a part of that it's very awesome. So I don't want to say it's getting comfortable, but having the experience in your back pocket makes the week a little bit less hectic.
So how do you motivate yourself still when it's, we're just going back to the Super Bowl again?
Yeah, I mean, the motivation in the room at an all-time high right now. We're hungry, we're focused, we're ready to get out there and play.
And finally, I've got to ask about Travis, because my editors will get angry if I don't. How much fun is that guy to be around and play with? And have you been able to ignore all the noise? I think you know the noise I'm talking about.
Travis is awesome, man. There's one thing about him. He's going to show up, make sure he's doing the right stuff day in and day out. And, he's an ultra-competitive guy, just wants to win no matter what. So being around him has been awesome. Great guy to be around. Great mentor, for the younger guys on the team and everything.
Dude, best of luck for Sunday. Enjoy the week, and we'll see you again maybe Sunday night in the locker room.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Hey, how are you doing, man?
Good to see you.
First of all, to start with, I remember sitting down with you on Radio Row at Super Bowl 52. 4 in 5 years since then with Andy Reid. Is it starting to feel normal at this point?
No, it's a great feeling to be doing it again. And we're fortunate. We're in a great organization. We work for a great head coach. Got a really good quarterback and a lot of other good players, too. So it's been fun.
There's always been this idea that Steve Spagnuolo defense grows as the season goes on, but this year you hit the ground running. How much does that to do with that kind of young nucleus that you've carried through the last 2-3 years?
Yeah, it's a really good point. I mean, I thought our guys came out of the blocks really well. They had a lot of pride. They wanted to do that. I mean, quite honestly, we won that Super Bowl game last year, but didn't like the fact that there were 35 points at the end of the game. So our guys took it upon themselves to work at it in the offseason, and I thought it showed, at the beginning of the season right on through.
That 22 draft with Trent, George Karlaftis, Leo Chanel, all guys who are making impact week in, week out. It's amazing how many guys came out of that draft and are still hitting the ground.
Yeah, Brett Veach and his guys do a great job of identifying those people, and we're fortunate we got them. And then we added some free agents like a Mike Edwards and a Drew Tranquil and Charles Menahue that weren't with us a year ago that have made a big difference.
I thought Drew was unbelievable last week.
Tremendous. He's done it all year long. I mean, Nick got banged up on a 4 or 5 game stretch there, and we didn't skip a beat in terms of what we were doing and how we were doing it. That's a lot of credit to Drew.
We saw it in Germany, man. That was an unbelievable game from him.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, that was not an easy team to play. But our guys got all geared up for it. That was a good game, fun.
And look, tell us schematically how you're going to prepare for the 49ers. Brock Purdy, a lot is being made in the last week about the use of his legs, how that might affect your guys. So how are you preparing for that?
Anytime you're playing a quarterback that's as talented as he is and can hurt you running the football, you got to make a lot of decisions. I mean, how many guys do you commit to rushing the passer? How many do you commit to him scrambling? So we got a little bit of everything, and we got to get him in those situations first, quite frankly, because first and second down, they do such a good job of running and throwing it. You got to get them to the passing situations to get in.
Reckon they'll run the ball more than the Ravens did?
I think so. They'll run it because they got some good runners.
We can't go to Germany and then not come to Vegas. That would be weird, right?
It's awesome to have you guys here, man.
Look, one of our favourite chats we had in Germany, and also gave us a great anecdote on air because you saw the video of my co-commentator asking questions to Mike McDaniel,
yes.
And we chatted about it on the field a bit. So thank you for giving me a little thing to wind my guy up with.
Yes.
That was superb.
Yes.
Drew, welcome to Super Bowl 58. How does that feel, man?
It's wild. I was telling some reporters, man, I walked out of that tunnel 2 years ago, and we lost a close Week 18 matchup in overtime to miss the playoffs. And to think, wow, it's only 2 short years later, and I'm walking on this field to play in Super Bowl 58. A lot of emotions. A lot of emotions.
Tell us, when the decision was made and when you came and signed for the Chiefs, obviously you know you're going to a team with success, but staying in division, you always said you wanted to stay with the Chargers. How hard was that decision, and how kind of justified does it feel today?
Well, you have a dream as a kid to win a Super Bowl and hoist a Lombardi. I think maybe the understated thing with this organization is going back-to-back, winning back-to-back titles is so hard. You get everybody's best. Like, I remember when I was at the Chargers, when we played the Chiefs, it was like, let's go. Like, the NFL is a long season. You talk about 3 preseason games, 17 regular season games. Like, it's hard to emotionally, like, feel at your best every week. When we played the Chiefs, it was like you were on 10. You were ready to go. And so I love the challenge of, like, coming here and trying to help these guys, this organization, go back-to-back. There's so few that have done it before.
Hey, and it's nice only having to face Patrick and Travis and those guys in training and not week in, week out on a Sunday, right?
They're great. They're fantastic. It's uncanny, the connection they have when you talk about extending the play, finding holes in the zone. The number of times that duo beat us in overtime or at the end of the fourth quarter, it was too many times to count, and I was sick of it, man. I had to make a change.
Oh, well, look, we've got to say, by the way, congratulations for a sensational game last weekend and the run in the playoffs. You've been superb. We were just talking with Spags, and he particularly brought your name up kind of unchallenged as the guy who came in this year and really hit the ground running. How has that system been to adapt to, and why do you think this year versus other years it feels like that defense has raised to that level for the whole season this year?
Well, I think they've done a good job with personnel. You look at that defense from last year, there's a lot of the same pieces this year, and they've just grown. Spags runs a tough defense. It's tough to learn. There's a lot of communication. He asks a lot of his players. You have to be a smart football player to kind of play in this system. But when you're able to connect, when you're able to do the things he's asking you to do, man, he just draws up so many great schemes, makes it really hard on quarterbacks and offensive coordinators and offenses. And, man, it's been cool to join up with these guys and make a run here.
And hey, in Spags we trust, right?
In Spags we trust, man. How about those shirts? Such a cool idea by Justin Reed.
Yeah, it felt like Spags wasn't that keen on them, but it got a pretty good pop from the team and from the crowd, right?
He says, I'm trying to burn them all. Spags is he's a guy who's not looking for the attention. He just he wants to compete. He wants to be the best. He wants to go to work with the guys, man. He comes alive, man, when he's leading those defensive meetings. And he's a guy you can tell he just loves his work. He loves what he does.
And look, we saw your defense, particularly in that first half against the Dolphins back in Germany, really step up to an offense who do a lot of the stuff this offense is going to be doing next weekend. Those mid-level in-breaking routes, that ability to run the ball inside and out. And I wonder, like, what you've seen on film from this 49ers offense and how, I mean, they're insanely multiple, have so much talent. What you've seen on film that makes you think that you guys will have the beating of them next weekend?
Well, you did a great analysis there. You hit on a lot of key points. The personnel they got, fantastic. They're so multiple. They're able to make personnel groups look like multiple different personnel groups. I think the thing they do best is they marry their run plays to their pass plays so well. At the second level, it's very hard to read run pass. And a lot of their run plays, they'll set up and have play action off of it. It's going to be a challenge for us. We'll have to be on top of it, and I'm looking forward to it.
It's wild. They can start out like 22 with signs, and suddenly they're 5 wide, and you've just no idea where that's coming from. And then Brock will run the ball out of that. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how any defense beats it, but a couple of them had the beating this year, and it feels like you guys might be one of the ones that's got the talent level to do it.
Yeah, how about Brock using his legs last weekend, and the biggest game of their season so far. Man, he doesn't get the credit he deserves as a player. He's an outstanding quarterback, and they've got playmakers all over the field. You look at their their yards after catch. You talk about Debo, you talk about Kittle, you talk about McCaffrey, Ayuk, like even Jennings, man. Like these guys, like they can play ball, man. And we're going to have to be on it. We're going to have to be physical at the point of contact, and we're going to have to send a message early.
You know who's 1 and 2 in that stat in the league, of course?
Who's
them
that?
And you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully that keeps going here on Sunday.
Love it. Look, Drew, you're a top guy, and we love having a chat to you. And even though I'm a Niners fan, it would be lovely to see you in the locker room afterwards on Sunday. And
everything changed, man. Everything changed.
I haven't told anyone else this. You're the only one.
I understood what you said on that last question about us being 1 and 2. I don't know which one we are, but hopefully we stay there, and hopefully they drop. And yeah, we're gonna have to be good tacklers. They're a good team.
I do really appreciate your time. Thank you, man.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs, Matt Nagy, with us on opening night. Welcome back to the Super Bowl, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, this is awesome, man. We're fired up.
So start off with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, 2 years working with those guys now, and that connection that they have.
Oh, I've been lucky enough to be able to see Kelce since he's a rookie with Alex Smith, and to grow where he's at now with Patrick. When Patrick came in as a rookie, and kind of see those guys go. Then I left, and they built this unbelievable relationship and chemistry as teammates. And to take it now, the last 2 years for me to come back and be able to see what they've done, I'm just glad they're on. I'm glad I'm coaching them.
Do you ever have those moments when a play breaks down where you see Travis start to freelance? And I don't know, how are you feeling on the sideline as that's happening?
I'm okay with that. It's hard to draw up a lot of perfect plays. So if we don't have a perfect play and Kelce and Pat are out there making plays, they'll make something good happen.
Love it. How do you feel about the noise around this team this week? I'm not talking about that noise, but Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, all those comparisons going on.
It comes with the territory. I mean, Tom Brady's one of the greatest ever to do it, and Patrick knows that. But Patrick is on a level right now that's different in a good way. But, you know, I think there's just such an element yet of there's to be determined yet. There's a lot left for Pat, you know, and I just know that those two really respect each other.
Is he the best you've ever worked with?
Yeah, he's special. He's different, and he's just rare. He's rare company.
And looking at 49ers defense the last few weeks, how they've been run on, Isaiah Pacheco looks like he could be in for a huge game this week. We love all the stuff about he runs like he hates the ground and all that, but talk about him as a guy who's just grown into this team the last 2 years.
Well, first of all, that 49ers defense is really good. They're a really good defense, and they're well coached. They got great players, so we're not going to get tricked into that one. I mean, they're special. We got our hands full, but we feel like we'll put together a good game plan. It's a respectful game between two really good teams. And Pacheco is something else. He's really growing. It's his second year. A lot of energy, great kid, coachable, runs hard. And again, I'm glad he's on my team.
And we saw 4 years ago when these two teams faced off at 54, Andy Reid throw in some, 1930s college plays in the red zone. How much fun is it working with Coach Reid? And are there ever times where he comes in with like a bit of film or something and you're just like, where has that come from?
We call it the beautiful mind. I mean, he has a whiteboard in there that has a bunch of different plays scribbled up on the board, and he's always been that way. So that's the part I love, being a coach under him, accepting that, understanding it, and I guess we'll see.
And finally, I just want to ask, there was a run earlier this year, 3 games, Germany included, where we had you out there, where you didn't score in the second half. Yeah. Happens again with the Ravens last week. Is that something that you see an issue with, that there are adjustments that need to be made, or how are you dealing with that? How are you adjusting to that?
2 things. I think it was a good point you made on the first run there in the middle of the season when we struggled in the second half. I put last weekend a little bit different. We had the lead. It's a really good defense we were playing against, and so there was a little situational football and field position involved. But obviously we'd love to be able to score more, and I think that's our job to make sure we do that.
I think we're out of time, but just one more. You talked about Pat Mahomes being the best you've ever worked with, but what's your assessment of Brock Purdy on the other side?
Really good quarterback. I remember Brock coming out at Iowa State. I know the coaches there and how many good things they say about him. To be in this game, he's really helped put them there, and I have a lot of respect for people that work hard and do things the right way, and he does that.
Coach, appreciate your time. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.